Hello and welcome to the Spandex and Wine podcast. I'm your host, Robin Hackney, and I'm so happy that you're here. This podcast is a place for conversations about balancing a healthy lifestyle and being happy, more specifically, happy hour. Together, we'll explore all things wellness and wine. I hope you learn a little, laugh a lot, and along the way, know you're not alone on this balanced wellness journey. Ready to jump in? Pour something in your glass that makes you happy because it's time for Spandex and Wine. Welcome to the Spandex and Wine podcast. I'm your host, Robin Hackney, and today is a conversation with my friend, Jordan Brown. Jordan is not just a cancer survivor, he is a cancer thriver. After receiving a diagnosis, going through surgeries, and still on medications, Jordan decided to start a foundation for those that found themselves in the same position. A foundation to help those battling and those supporting those patients. Take a listen and be sure to check the show notes to learn how you can help. Well, hey, Jordan, welcome to the Spandex and Wine podcast. I'm so grateful that you're here.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on. I want to say I really do appreciate it. I think it's really important to kind of give some appreciation to you for having me on because I don't do a ton for you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're a small foundation. We don't have a huge reach right now, but someone like you that has a bigger reach, letting us come on and talk is really important. So thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Well, you have such an inspiring story and what you've done with the cards that were dealt to you and how you've turned it around. And so I would love for you to share your story and we'll go from there.
Yeah, of course. So I was diagnosed with an NTRK1 TPM3 gene fusion sarcoma when it was 2020. So at that point in time, I had a thigh, or I had a mass in my thigh, which we kind of diagnosed with being that sarcoma. It was a long process. You learn a lot about having cancer during that process and all the different red tape that's involved, and that will go into why I started this foundation. But, when coming with insurance, not accepting things and, just having a lot of delays because of stuff like that, I ended up having to have radiation done and then a mass resection on my thigh. So I lost about, I'd say, right around 1/3 of my thigh. And then they moved a muscle from the inside to the outside of my thigh to give me more stability. But I think it took, about 9 months to get normal again, walking without a cane and stuff like that, just because, physical therapy and everything else. So that was awesome. The surgery did go very well. It was very successful from that standpoint. But then it would have been 21 in March, right after my wife's birthday, because it was right after the Big 12 tournament. I started getting pain in my groin. And I'm like, man, I had a hernia or something like that. And then come to find out it was another mass that had grown there in my right thigh again, a right thigh area. And the issue being why that happened was because there is a systematic treatment for my specific cancer. It's called larotrectinib. And that medicine actually treats the driver for what causes that cancer. So when you take that medicine, it stops that driver from happening. That cancer can't grow anymore. Well, the insurance wouldn't give it to me because that time they say that unless you're metastatic, so the cancer has to be in your lungs or somewhere else in your body, or it can't be surgically removed, they won't give the medicine to you. So at that point in time, I was metastatic. That's what they call that now. And then so I had blood clots and stuff. It was a really odd mass because it was right on top of my femoral artery. So it was So it was like dealing with my blood was clotting down there. I had blood clots in my lungs. They were small, but I didn't know about them. But yeah, it was like all crazy. So what they did was they gave me my medicine. So I started that medicine in March, and by June of 21, I was cancer free. No mass, with no medicine, no surgery, gone. And I've been on the medicine since then. I'm still on it now. It's very new therapy, and that's where we kind of see cancer, where it is now and all the research and stuff. The medicine came out in 2000 and I want to say 16 when it got trialed. So it's very new. And so they are keeping me on it because they're not sure really right now. Is it, since it's all gone, am I good? Or do I take it forever? Does it, because there's people that have been on this medicine since 2016 are still on it and still cancer free. So there's a lot of questions still to do with the medicine. It's very new, very new, but with medicine, they test things for 40, 50 years and still trying to figure out what it does. So, it's just, it is. So yeah, that got me where I am today. And then I, started the foundation, and that's where we are now. So kind of guess that's the whole beginning story, long and short.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah. Okay, so you said it all started in 2020. How old were you at the time?
So I would have been, I'm 31. I'm so bad about ages. Hold on real fast. I'm 32 right now. I was 28, then 28.
Okay.
28.
Oh, so
I had my
young.
30th birthday right after, that fall of kind of becoming like cancer free again, was that in
Uh-huh.
my 30th. So yeah, I've been 28. Yeah.
And then did you have cancer in the family? Was this
No.
just
So
okay?
I'll kind of go back a little bit further. When I was 19, I did have a benign tumor in that same thigh, about the same position. Now,
Wow.
here's the thing though. I was 19. That would have been 2011. They had not been able to test for this cancer then. That's how new that all this was. They weren't even testing for this
Uh,
cancer yet. So they're not saying that it was cancer then, but they weren't even able to even look at that, benign tumor and say, oh, okay, we can see there is a gene fusion in there, and that might be cancer in the future. They weren't doing that yet. So
hmm.
that's kind of what alerted me to knowing there was a tumor there the second time around. I felt another lump. I'm like, I've had a lump there before. That's not new. I've held up there before.
Hmm.
So it prompted me to go to the doctor and get checked out. But yeah, so that's kind of what got that started there. And that's always people, man, like, just health wise for yourself, I feel like you think something's wrong, just go to the doctor and get it checked out. Man. I know it's
Yeah.
tough, as men especially,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's just, we're very like, maybe not me, I'm kind of a hypochondriac, let's be honest here, but most men though, it's like, we don't want to go to the doctor, and
Yeah.
and we just we just feel unsure. We don't want to hear bad news, but it's just so important, because if you can like get things, figured out in the beginning, it can save your
Yeah.
life. It can save your life. It really can. So I always tell people,
Yeah.
just go do it. If you got to do something, go get the procedure or the exam. It can save
Yeah.
your life.
Yeah.
So.
It's true. I mean, I'm the same way though too. And I think part of it also is just I don't want to be embarrassed. Like I don't want it to be, oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's nothing. And then you I feel like, oh, I wasted their time.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, So,
Yeah. Yep.
I get that. I get that
Yeah.
hesitation.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
sure. For sure. Yeah.
Sure.
You're like, my bad, man. I'm trying to look
Yeah.
out. You're like, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's very true. That's how it works.
Yes.
Yes. Very
So for
much.
you though, after going through this, you started your foundation
Yeah.
and take us through that.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, I said that there was tons of red tape. And then there was
Hmm.
a tons of transitional periods in life, right? That go on when you have cancer. For me, one of my transitional periods was, I had the same job for 12 years. I worked at Quitter. I was a lifer, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I've worked, I always working. I mean, I never took days off. I was just always about work. And then that all ended. That was gone,
Yeah.
and even without after the leg and stuff, it wasn't plausible for me to go back to work in that capacity, because like I just don't have the strength there anymore. And over time it would be diminished my leg over time. So, you
Hmm.
know, that kind of stops. And then you're kind of trying to find your place in the world and where you fit in, because you were Jordan, the quick trip worker, you were Jordan, the provider in that sense. That all
Yeah.
ends, and that happens to a ton of people that are diagnosed with cancer. And then I saw what it did to me mentally. And I always tell people, it's crazy. I think for me, and I've actually talked to other psychiatrists, is actually kind of a thing, but it's kind of after all the dust settles is when a lot of that mental, strain comes in, because you're so used to like seeing the doctor once a week, getting radiation every day for 4 weeks, having
Hmm.
procedures, follow-ups. Then that all ends, and
Hmm.
then you're kind of looking around like, oh, what am I now? And who am I? And so that kind of got me in that mode of thinking how we could, give back to the cancer community and how we could help people through their journey. Um, so we started the Mind Over Cancer Foundation, and the main goal is just to make sure that, and I was very lucky. I didn't have a ton of financial strain. I was able to navigate that pretty well, and
Hmm.
lucky to have some insurance to help with some things, and you know that the stuff that would give me or whatever. But it wasn't too much of a burden for me. But I know it is for some people, and so
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that if they had a financial burden, that if they wanted to get some mental health support, they could. If they
Yeah.
wanted to go to psychiatrists, they wanted to go to therapy, that was an option for them.
Hmm.
But also not just an option for them, but for their supporters too. And I always kind of go in the conversation about, you know, I understand what I went through, 100%. I get it, and I can put it into tons of words. But even to this day, I don't know what my wife went through. I have no clue what
Yeah.
she went through. I don't know what she went through. I could see the strain it took on her at certain points in time, but you just don't know
Sure.
mentally how she feels. And so if
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't good, I knew it
Yeah.
wasn't good for her. So I'm like, you know what? Like, I want to make sure we can make a foundation like this. It's not just for the people who are survivors, but also their supporters too. So they get that
Mm-hmm.
same amount of support around them. Yeah. So the main goal is really, like I said, provide that financial assistance. So we have an application on our website, which you go on and you apply. Um, Kind of gives an idea who you are, what you do, what you're kind of about. We want to know about you as well. We eventually want to give back more to those people, as what we can.
Yeah.
If it's a night out with your family at your favorite restaurant, let's do it. If we can afford that and we can make it happen, I want to make that kind of stuff happen.
Yeah.
But so get an idea who we're helping, and then we start an assistance. We usually give grants, so it base it off 6 months to a year. Probably depends on what you need financially, what that number looks like, and what we can budget for. And then
Mm-hmm.
once we get you in there and get you a grant, we just kind of keep track of you and keep an eye on you and make sure you're good. And it's nice. We have 3 therapists right now that I know. I can email them right now and we can talk, about whatever. And so
Mm-hmm.
I have that I know, but I also tell people too, if you want to go to somebody else, go to them. I always make sure that if I get someone I don't know, I go and have a conversation with them. I'll send an email out or call them just to see who the psychiatrist is, how I would work with them, from a professional standpoint, because everybody's billing's different, how they want to bill their patients and stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I mean, it's building that network of, people we know in this kind of mental health capacity and kind of just
Mm-hmm.
growing out from there. So yeah, it's been very good. Very good.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds like just a wonderful resource for people.
Yeah,
I'm
it
kind of
is.
surprised that like therapy isn't part of the treatment when you're going through that.
Yeah, I mean, they have. So like one of our therapists was it's called she was a she worked in the oncology department, so she was a
Mm-hmm.
therapy for anybody that had cancer, and so that's what she did that for 13 years.
Yeah.
And she said that that's what they do. They do offer support stuff, but you're still paying for it though. Like you still
Yeah.
are paying for that stuff. So
Sure.
it's just through the hospital, right? So they do offer it. I will say, we are supporting people that are getting therapy like through a hospital, system, but it's difficult. Like I have to mail in checks and like get account numbers. So the red tape is there. It's not like
Yeah.
an easy transaction. Just how it works. Like it's kind of tough, getting your foot in the door too. Like we're working on right now trying to get our foot in the door at Children's Mercy because they're very
Mm-hmm.
selective who they'll work with, So I've gotten some
Okay.
contacts to help us do that, but it just kind of there is some work involved in getting I always thought it'd be easy to find charities. It's really not though. I think our resources out there, but not everybody can see it because not
Yeah.
everybody can have that connection. So just try to find different community partners, like that we can,
Mm-hmm.
have our resource out there for those people is really important. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, good
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, I know that you and I had a conversation not too terribly long ago about providing some exercise and yoga and different
Yes.
things like that.
Yes.
But what other resources are you looking for? If there's someone out there that's like, oh gosh, I could do this, besides just monetary, which we'll get to that too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what else are you looking for?
Really anything. Well, so I met with a place called Gilda's Clubs KC.
Yeah,
If you know what that is, and then
yeah,
the lady Gilda, is it Gilda Ratner? Is that her name that started
hmm
SNL? Yes,
yeah,
I
yeah.
wasn't a part of that SNL group, but I know of her name.
You're too young.
Yeah, that's what I keep getting told. So I met with them, and they have a wonderful support groups. And my conversation with them was, hey, listen, I have resources right now where I can, create applications and try to fundraise for financial support, but I don't have the type of resources to have 8 or 9 support groups a year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We just don't have that, or a month what they do. They have awesome support. They have a knitting support group, yoga,
hmm
And so what I've been doing is kind of partnering with those kind of people to kind of help us, we can use them as our support group kind of thing. Hey, if you want a support group, you can go to them. They're great for it. So it's just finding different partners in KC that want to help people with their
Yeah.
cancer journey and however way they want to. I mean, I don't think there's anybody that could come to me today and say, "Hey, Jordan, I have an idea to do this for these cancer, survivors and supporters." I'd be like, "Oh, that's not a good idea." At the end of the day, I'm going to tell you, let's try it. Let's try to
Yeah.
do something for them.
Yeah.
And that's how I've loved to see that the people I've at least at this point in time encountered during this that are, even survivors of cancer or have other foundations have been very receptive to what we are doing and wanted
hmm
to be inclusive, because you could easily see it being a point of maybe tension with different foundations being like, well, hey, they might take some of our money away from us. So we don't want to deal with them or be partners with them because they might kind of hurt what we're trying to do, but they haven't been. Everybody's been very kind and open.
Yeah.
So
Good.
it's important to see that. I love seeing that because, I didn't want to step on anybody's toes. but
Sure.
I also wanted to create partners and, and meet people out there. I think it's really important. So, yeah. So
Absolutely.
anything you can offer, I think that it's really important to realize that people experiencing cancer, going through that journey, can use everything at the end of the day. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, because anything can make them feel more human again. Because you kind of lose that party a little bit. I mean,
Sure.
if it's a if you're still able to, if it's a golf lesson, you're a golf instructor. Ask me, I'll say yeah to it. Why not?
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
anything. If it's cornhole, offer up cornhole. I'm down for it. We'll go play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's so yeah. I think anything helps at the end of the day, and
Yeah.
I would take it all. So
And I know that
definitely.
you've done several fundraisers because you mentioned
Yes.
cornhole, and I know you've done a
Yeah.
cornhole
Yeah. Yeah.
fundraiser.
Yeah.
Is there annual events that you already have established?
So yeah, well, kind of. We want to do about an event a quarter is our goal right now for
Okay.
this
Uh-huh.
coming year. So like we have a pottery one coming up this Sunday. I don't know when this podcast is going to be released, so I don't want to put a date out on there.
Okay. Yeah.
But this Sunday, I'll say this Sunday. But so we
Okay.
have pottery event this Sunday, coming up. We'll have our cornhole tournament again in May. It'll be in May.
Okay.
We're a tentative date right now, kind of trying to find one with Jeff. Jeff, but we and him are working right now to figure out. We're going to do it at Serve again. We're going to do it at Serve this year
Oh,
instead of
cool. Yeah.
we did up north last year. I kind of felt bad because I feel like people like you guys and your family, like it's easy
Yeah.
for you to get up to Serve. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we
That'd be
know so
great.
many of you. It's like we know some people out south. I wanted them to be involved too. So
Yeah.
we're gonna do Serve this time. It'll be great. It's gonna be so much fun. We had so much fun last year doing it. It was a great time. And even though I won the intermediate. It was so weird. It's like my wife wanted to play, and I'm like, oh, my wife, she's good. She's all right. So she never
Yeah.
plays. I'm like, okay, that's fine. We'll play. We'll win a couple games, lose a couple games. We'll be good to go. Well, I got on fire. I caught fire, and we're an intermediate. I'm just over here beating everybody. I'm like, I cannot win
Oh
right now.
no.
You know how bad that is. You know how bad that
Yeah.
looks. So we end up we actually took second. We just gave our prize away. We just said that we'll give the third place person the second place prize, fourth place the third place prize. But I'm like, this is terrible looking right now. I'm winning my own prizes. Like, what are we doing? So yeah, so we'll do that. Wife will do a yoga event. Probably in the fall, an outdoor yoga event in the fall. And then we're just brainstorming some more ideas, trying to maybe find some more partners to do, like Chipotle does stuff like where for a day they give benefits from a certain store, the proceeds from that store, whatever, go to your
Yeah.
foundation. So there's a lot of options out there. Just find the right ones for us that work. So
Cool.
yeah, and we'll let you guys know. We'll
Cool.
definitely keep it out there and always post stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll get about that. Yeah, definitely.
That's great. And then what about where can people just donate monetarily?
Yeah. I mean, monetarily on our website, there's a donation thing on there. You just click on there. It's through PayPal, I think, for us. So but you can donate with your card or whatever you want to do it. And you can set it up if you want to do, monthly, yearly, one time. It doesn't really matter to us. We will take whatever you can give us because it's important for us to make sure that we just keep our funds up. I mean, I want to help more people and I can only budget for what we have.
Yeah.
But like I said, all donations go straight to survivors, in our operations costs. We don't,
Yeah.
I don't pay myself. Wife don't get paid. We do it all. We just do it to do it. I'm here to just help people out,
Yeah. That's great.
We post all of our stuff, our W-9s, whenever we get done with that, or 900s, whatever they call those, after the year's done. I think it's important to be transparent. I'm not saying that other foundations aren't transparent, but I just think it is important to be transparent. It's just because you donate to somebody for a cause, you hope it's going to that cause, as much as it can.
Right.
Not every foundation has operating costs. You're going to have, marketing stuff, or you got to buy something to, do an event. But at the same time, you hope that most of that money is going towards survivors and supporters.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really important to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I hate that you had to go through that, but I think
Yes.
it's wonderful what you're doing and how you're
Thank you.
giving back to people.
Thank you.
So great,
Yeah,
great
I
job.
appreciate it. So there's a small thing here. I just realized I was going to bring it before, but we just started going. So we're going to mention this right now.
Okay.
So Kendall Colette, correct? Is that
my
your
sister?
That's your sister? Yeah. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Ben is my wife's childhood friend from elementary school. They've been friends
Oh, that's so funny.
all their life. I met Kendall. I met Kendall. I've talked to her. But yes, sweet lady, awesome. But yeah, but Ben and Kara were childhood friends. So
oh my gosh!
When I saw you on your podcast page, shout her out for something. I said that name was. I clicked on her profile. I was like, wait, that's Kendall. I know who that is. I was like, what a small world that is. But yes.
Oh my gosh,
I'm sure she'll see this and be like, I know who that is.
Yeah, she will.
Yes.
Oh, wow. It is a small world. Yes. Well, okay. So let's tell all the listeners where they can find you on both Facebook, Instagram, your website, everything.
Yes. So Mind Over Cancer Foundation, Facebook, Instagram, the website, mindovercancerfoundation.com.
Okay.
It's kind of long-winded. It's hard to get domain names, I feel like sometimes.
Yeah.
When you go to our website, there's also links to our socials there. On our website, we have our support programs. We have our resource page, ways to contact us. If you have questions about like things you can do for us or things that we can do for you, there's a way to reach out to us on there, and we'll get back to you quickly. We have merchandise that we sell on our website. Every once in a while, we'll do something. My wife made handmade knitted hats that look awesome. So she made one. They're all one of a kind. So you buy one, they're gone. It's gone. But that's on there right now. Our events are on there too, and we post about them as soon as we kind of a date for them. We put that up on the website. And that's about it. We have About Us. Come there and learn about us. I have the story I just told you pretty much, maybe a little bit longer on there, written out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But get on there, learn about us, see my wife and my little boy. He's nothing but trouble, but he keeps me busy. Get on there and check it out. It's awesome, and it's I think it's really cool to see how supportive the Kansas City community can be, though. They really are. Kansas City is a great place. I think our community, when it comes to people around here, that Midwest feel, of course, that's what we're having here. But I mean, everybody is so supportive, inclusive, and just does a great job at giving people that deserve it the attention they deserve. So I love it here. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So can't beat it.
Yep, I agree. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story, for sharing all of that information. I know wonderful things are in store for you guys for this year. So
yes, appreciate it. Thank you so much, Robin.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on. Yeah, appreciate you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan, for being here today. You are the perfect example of a cancer thriver, not just a survivor. And you're right, your diagnosis does not define you, and finding an issue early can make a huge difference. So don't be afraid to make that doctor's appointment if you're on the fence and thinking about it out there. If this was helpful to you, or you know someone that would benefit from this information, please share this episode with them. There are so many resources out there to help you and your supporters. Reach out to Mind Over Cancer at mindovercancerfoundation.com for help, or to donate, or to see how you or your company can give back to those in need. I'll be playing in the Cornhole Tournament, their fundraiser that they have, and I would love to see lots of Spandex and Wine listeners there. All the links are in the show notes. Thank you for listening. If you're enjoying this podcast, be sure to follow Spandex and Wine so you don't miss an episode. To do this, just go to the podcast and click subscribe or follow wherever you are listening. Look for the plus sign or follow button. This is one of the best things that you can do for the podcast. If you'd also be willing to give a 5-star review, that would be amazing and much appreciated. Lastly, please share an episode with a friend or 5 to keep the love going, and join the Spandex and Wine community in our private Facebook group by searching Spandex and Wine. Feel free to reach out to me at any time by emailing info@spandexandwine.com or text me at 913-392-2877. I appreciate you. Thank you.